The lost colony of Roanoke. Imagine leaving your family behind for what was supposed to be a short journey. You promise you'll return soon, with food, supplies, and everything needed to build a new life. But when you finally return, 3 years later, everyone is gone. No bodies, no signs of a struggle, no graves, no survivors. Just a single word, carved into a wooden post. A word that would become one of the greatest mysteries in American history. This is the story of the lost colony of Roanoke. His granddaughter. But he knew they had little choice. Without supplies, the settlement might not survive. Reluctantly, he agreed. In late 1587, John White boarded a ship and sailed back to England. He expected to return within months. He had no idea that delay would become the beginning of a nightmare. As White arrived in England, Europe was moving toward war. Tensions between England and Spain exploded. The threat of invasion consumed the nation. When the Spanish Armada prepared to attack, England needed every available ship. White's plans were postponed. Again, and again, and again. Months became years. Every day brought new anxiety. What was happening in Roanoke? Were the settlers safe? Did they have enough food? Were his family members still alive? He had no way to know, no way to help, no way to turn back time. All he could do was wait, while Roanoke slipped farther into the dark. Finally, in 1590, White secured passage back across the Atlantic. As his ship approached Roanoke, hope returned. Soon he would see his family. Soon he would reunite with the colony. Soon everything would be normal again. Or so he thought. The ship reached shore, and immediately, something felt wrong. The settlement was silent. No smoke from cooking fires. No voices. No laughter. No children. Nothing. The colony appeared abandoned. White and his men searched carefully. The houses were gone. Many structures had been dismantled. Belongings had disappeared. Yet there were no signs of violence. No burned buildings. No bodies. No weapons. No evidence of a battle. It was as if the entire colony had been erased. But one detail stopped White cold. Then White found a clue. Carved into a wooden post was a single word, Croatoan. Nearby, the letters CRO were carved into a tree. The word referred to a nearby island and a Native American community known as the Croatoans. Years earlier, the settlers had agreed on a plan. If they relocated, they would leave a message indicating where they had gone. If they left under danger or force, they would carve a cross alongside the message. But there was no cross. That detail mattered. It suggested the settlers may have left willingly, or at least, that they had not been driven away in obvious panic. Perhaps they had relocated. Perhaps they had joined another community. Perhaps they had survived long enough to leave a message, and then vanished somewhere beyond the reach of history. But if that was true, where were they now? And why had no one ever found them? White wanted answers. He wanted to search. He wanted to find his family. But nature had other plans. Bad weather, rough seas, and an unwilling crew prevented further investigation. Reluctantly, he was forced to leave. He never found his daughter. He never found Virginia Dare. And he never learned what happened to the settlers. The mystery of Roanoke had begun. And once it began, it only grew darker. For more than 4 centuries, people have searched for answers. One theory suggests the settlers joined the Croatoan people. Faced with isolation and food shortages, they may have integrated into nearby communities. Some historical accounts even describe Native American tribes displaying European features and customs. Could these have been descendants of Roanoke settlers? Perhaps, but perhaps not. Another theory suggests the colonists moved inland, searching for better land, better resources, and better chances of survival. Disease, starvation, or conflict may have eventually wiped them out, leaving little evidence behind. Others believe they were attacked. The late 1500s were turbulent times. Competition for land and resources often turned violent. Yet no mass graves have ever been discovered. No clear evidence of a massacre has ever been found. And that absence of evidence is exactly what keeps the mystery alive. Because every theory explains part of the story, but none of them explain everything. Over the years, more dramatic theories have emerged. Pirates, secret evacuations, conspiracies. But despite centuries of investigation, no explanation has been proven. The truth remains hidden. Archaeologists continue searching. Researchers continue studying historical records. New clues occasionally appear, but each time an answer seems close, it slips away again, and Roanoke stays silent. More than 400 years later, the lost colony of Roanoke continues to capture our imagination, because it represents something larger than a historical mystery. It reminds us that history is incomplete. There are stories still waiting to be uncovered, questions still unanswered, secrets still buried beneath the earth. Perhaps somewhere, hidden in forgotten documents, or beneath layers of soil, the final answer still exists. Until then, the settlers of Roanoke remain among history's most famous missing persons. An entire community, a new beginning, a hopeful future, gone, without a trace. And all that remains is a single word, Croatoan. A clue, a mystery, and one of history's greatest unanswered questions. Subscribe to Forgotten Stories for more mysteries, legends, and forgotten events that shaped our world. Because sometimes, the most fascinating stories are the ones history never fully explained.